previous video, we were talking about insulin, and now we'll look at the steroid hormones. So steroid hormones are made out of fat. We said it's estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, cortisol, vitamin D, and thyroid hormones. And you can see that they are all made out of cholesterol, but then depending on the other hormones, the path changes. So for example, progesterone, everybody has progesterone in the body, and that's like a precursor, a building block to cortisol. So if we are stressed all day long and we don't know how to manage the stress, then it's stealing from the other pathway. And that might be causing lower DHEA, which is the use hormone, and low testosterone and low estrogen. So we ideally want to have this balanced. So let's look at the function of the sex hormones in our body. So we know that estrogen is basically the main driver of the female reproduction, and that during menopause, ladies have less and less of the estrogen unless the ovaries are not producing any estrogen anymore, and it's only the adrenal gland that is producing the cortisol that takes over and will release some estrogen into the bloodstream. So what is the effect of estrogen? If we have a healthy level of estrogen, we flow through our days with ease because it's so easy to memorize everything. The learning is a piece of cake. Our skin looks amazing. It's nice and soft and moist and without wrinkles. Our mood is stable. The body temperature is stable. We are not cold and warm. We are not shaking. The blood glucose levels are stable as well. And you saw in the previous video how important it is to have a stable blood glucose level so that we don't go up and down, and we don't spike the fat-making hormone insulin. The heart rate is functioning well. Even when we go for a run, our body adapts to it easily. And also estrogen is needed for the protein synthesis to basically build the protein, to build the muscle. So you can see that during the menopause and after the menopause, all the symptoms are, so women basically lose the bum and lose the legs and lose the muscles and shape in their body because estrogen is not building the protein, the muscle structure anymore. Also, the heart rate is not regulated. The cholesterol levels go up and water retention. The body might be holding the water, or actually it might be completely drying down. Then after the menopause and even during the menopause or the perimenopausal years, you might have problems with your memory. You just can't remember what you wanted to do. It's very difficult to learn something new. The skin is hanging down, so many wrinkles, and the mood is a roller coaster as well. You might be crying for no reason. Progesterone, as we said, is the pregnancy hormone. So of course it gets skyrocketing only during the pregnancy. But if we are not pregnant, we still need progesterone because you saw that the progesterone is the building block to cortisol. So we need to have optimal levels of progesterone because if we don't have progesterone, we can't create cortisol, and cortisol is actually needed as well because it keeps us focused. It keeps us when you are walking on the road and there is a dangerous car that you run, you move away, or that you can react or even get up in the morning. We need cortisol to help us to wake up and feel energized in the morning. And then the cortisol goes down in the evening. So testosterone, obviously, it's dominant in male, and that is contributing to aggressiveness because in a Paleolithic time, the man needed to keep the tribe safe and, protecting the tribe, having this leadership behavior, thinking clearly, building the muscle, ability to take risk, and feel confident. So testosterone has massive impact on the behavior, whether the man is competitive or just like anxious and depressed. So with low testosterone levels, there is not really the motivation, the drive, the leadership, and aggressiveness. Yeah, and of course, then the libido goes down, and mental energy as well. So let's repeat. What are the signs and symptoms of low levels of estrogen? So that will be, of course, not only during the menopause, it's dry eyes and nose, because estrogen is also responsible for the like water retention, the moisture, right? So if we don't have the mucus in our nose, in our eyes, but also in vagina, that is a sign of low estrogen. Low libido, obviously, because estrogen is made to make us reproduce. And if it's low, the libido is gone. Also, estrogen is improving the immune system. And if we don't have enough of the estrogen, we are prone to all the infections, especially the urinary tract infection, because now the vagina doesn't have the mucus to grab all the bacteria, and it can actually easily get into our urinary tract. Hot flushes, headaches, migraines, chronic cortisol, high cortisol levels, weight gain, belly fat, dry skin, dry hair, memory, concentration, mood swing, depression. But don't worry reading this. If you now see that you have these symptoms of low estrogen, there are phytoestrogens. It's a plant estrogens that are mimicking the effects of estrogen, and that's what you can include into your diet. So that would be, for example, everything that's from soya, preferably fermented, tempeh, tofu, edamame beans, but you can also use soya products in tablets as a supplements. Now, let's look at the signs and symptoms of high estrogen, because that's what we also don't want. So ladies that are really suffering with the water retention, heavy periods, painful periods, premenstrual syndrome, or actually even depression caused by the menstrual cycle, fibroids, endometriosis, again, headaches, migraines, breast or ovarian cancer. This all can be caused by way too high levels of estrogen, because estrogen, this steroid hormone, needs to be eliminated from the body when we don't need it anymore. And this is done by breaking down by the enzymes, breaking it into metabolites, and then it's removed from the body, either in the stool, so in the stool or in the urine. And if you, for example, suffer with constipation and you don't go to the toilet every day, preferably 2 times a day, you are holding all these metabolites of the estrogen in the stool, and then it recirculates into the bloodstream, gets again into the liver, and it's again and again acting on your cells. So in week 3, we are going to talk about how to beat the bloat and constipation, how to rebalance the good and bad bacteria in our intestine so that you even get the hormone estrogen under control. Let's look at the signs and symptoms of low testosterone. So we covered it already before, but man, yes, let's repeat. Abdominal fat, overweight, low libido, poor sleep, erectile dysfunction, enlarged breast, reduced muscle mass, hyperglycemia, insulin resistance, poor memory and concentration, fatigue, muscle pain, anxiety, depression, infertility. But here I want to put the strengths on why do we actually need testosterone. You want to prevent the prostate cancer and enlarged prostate, because one of the signs of the enlarged prostate is that men need to urinate more often, and that has debilitating impact on our social life, on our emotional and mental well-being. So if you get your testosterone levels under control with the right food, for example, beetroot, which increases the nitric oxide, or you use saw palmetto, which is a supplement that is increasing the testosterone levels. If you start decreasing the amount of carbohydrates that you are consuming, and if you get the stress levels under control, you have a high chance to improve your testosterone levels. So let's recap. What do we need? We need to balance the building blocks for the synthesis. So we know that the building blocks are protein and fat. We need also to improve the transportation. So it's again the protein, and elimination, which was the constipation. So we need to also drink enough so that we flush the hormones that we don't need anymore away from our system. So blood sugar roller coaster, that's what we were talking about in week 1. You also know now about the impact of the hormone insulin, and how we do it is by controlling how many carbohydrates we are consuming and what impact it has on our body. So review the previous videos to recap. Caffeine. I know that everybody likes coffee, and coffee it is like, cannot say if it's good or bad. It is so individual, because if you have the enzymes in your liver that are breaking down the caffeine, this basically this stress molecule that is increasing the adrenaline, and it has no impact on your mood, you can, for example, even drink coffee just before you go to sleep and you fall asleep easily, then caffeine has no impact on you. But if you, for example, know that if you drink coffee in the afternoon, you cannot sleep all night, caffeine has definitely impact on your body. And in that case, you should reconsider whether you want to cut it completely off, maybe at least even for 7 days, and see any improvement. Constipation will be a big topic that we will cover in week 3, but you can already now start to drink more. You need 40 milliliters for every kilo of your body weight. So let's say a lady that has 60 kilos needs around 2.4 liters of water every single day, preferably drinking it in the morning and lunchtime and like early afternoon, but not really in the evening, because then it makes you to wake up in the night and urinate. Environmental stressors, endocrine disruptors is basically substances that are mimicking hormones. And we will talk about it in week 4. That is called detoxify your life. Will be big topic. Obesity. Obviously, we also need to talk about exercise. I know that you are busy, everybody is busy, and you maybe say, I don't have time to exercise every day, but it doesn't have to be a massive exercise. Just try to include the physical activity in your daily routine. Don't drive to the shop by car. Maybe you can walk, maybe you can cycle. Try to go for a walk around the block, or try high intensity interval training, which is only 7 minutes of the exercise. And then you speed up your metabolism for 24 hours. This is scientifically proven. For meditation, try yoga, Pilates, even 20 minutes helps you to decrease the cortisol and therefore not stealing away from the testosterone and estrogen. Sleep is a big topic, and I have a 60-minute presentation on sleep. So if this is your case and you really struggle to sleep 7 to 9 hours every single night, deep, profound sleep, all the stages of sleep, then please watch the video. It's on my website. And micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals. So of course, here I have to put a disclaimer that I do not recommend to anybody to supplement without knowing whether they are deficient or not. I had many clients that were taking supplements and they were overdosing, and that has negative impact on your liver and on your kidneys as well. So let's discuss this in our live Q&A sessions, or you can get in touch with me privately if you have any question that you would want to know. So let's look at what I would want you to implement this week. And that's blood glucose regulation. So try to eat low carbohydrate diet. If you downloaded my Eat Clean, Get Lean shopping list, you will see there low carbohydrate vegetable. And that's what you can eat in unlimited amount. Also, try to eat the rainbow. What does it mean? You want to eat different colors. So green beans, red apple, maybe orange sweet potato or pumpkin, pink salmon, just you name it, but a rainbow variety, 7 to 10 portions of vegetable, from which can be 2 fruit. Maybe you would want to try the restricted eating period, because the research showed that intermittent fasting is increasing actually the growth hormone, which has an impact on testosterone and estrogen and on our mood and on the regulation of insulin. So don't go crazy immediately into 20 hours fasting window and 4 hours eating window, but maybe start with 12 or 16 hours. So if you don't eat for 16 hours, then you have 8 hours window. So maybe you will have breakfast at 9, lunch at 12, and then dinner at 5, and you will be absolutely fine. Avoid snacking, because every single time when you are eating, you are spiking insulin, the anabolic hormone, the fat maker, and you are putting the pressure on your pancreas. So give it a break. What can help you actually to regulate your blood glucose levels is chromium. So you can either take chromium in supplements, but I would recommend to eat it in food. So, for example, apples are high in chromium, or peas, or broccoli. You should also include magnesium. This one I actually recommend taking in a supplement. I personally take 375 milligrams of magnesium citrate 1 hour before I go to sleep, because it helps me to relax the nervous system and drift off peacefully into a deep sleep. And I avoid muscle cramps, for example, after exercise. And magnesium you find in nuts and seeds, especially pumpkin seeds and almonds, but you can supplement as well. Cinnamon is absolutely fantastic. Not only it is anti-inflammatory, anti-everything, is basically anti-everything, anti-parasite. It also is improving insulin sensitivity. So it basically opens the receptors and allows the insulin to come in and the glucose to come in. So if you like cinnamon, you can put it into your porridge. You can mix it with your apples. You can sprinkle it basically anywhere. You can even put it into the water and drink it if that's what you like. If you don't like it, you can take it in supplements. So then just swallowing the pills. And then apple cider vinegar, it burns the fat, it improves the insulin sensitivity, it's killing all the viruses and bacteria, it improves the hydrochloric acid in our stomach, so it's against the heartburn, it just improves the digestion. So you can either mix 1 spoon into the water and drink it before every meal, or you can just mix it into your salad dressings. Just be careful, apple cider vinegar needs to be unpasteurized. And there needs to be this culture, mother culture, on the bottom of the bottle. So when you are buying it, pay attention. And spinach is wonderful. Spinach is alkaline vegetable. It's low in carbohydrate and it's really high in magnesium. And that takes me to the end of this presentation. So what have you learned? By now, you know what are hormones, the chemical messengers. You know that it's important to take into consideration the holistic impact on your emotional and mental well-being. Also your physical well-being. So you need to add some activity. Nutritional well-being, absolutely, because by now you know that the building blocks are responsible for everything in your body. So you need to think about the strategies of how to find the balance, because I know it is too much information now and you are thinking, where should I start? So go step by step, choose one thing that fits your lifestyle. And then maybe after 1 week, you can add another one. Remember, all these videos are about bringing the awareness that there is space for improvement and accepting that you might have some deficiencies, and then you take the action. So thank